Howdy. Let's see here. Oh, first of all, guys, I got a new bourbon. Well, let me say a new whiskey, because if you caught the last bourbon hunting video, and I'm not sure that you did, I found a great store in my neighborhood that has a great selection and great prices. And I wanted to try something new. This is Tin Cup. I'll read you a little bit of the back. Named for the Colorado mining town of Tin Cup and the metal cups from which the miners drank their whiskey. Tin Cup is a true mountain whiskey cut with Rocky Mountain water, bottled at an elevation of 5,251 feet. I'm not sure what that's supposed to have to do with anything. As far as elevation goes, what I really like is, so it's called Tin Cup, right? Check this out. I don't have to swig it from the bottle this time. They give me a shot glass which unscrews, and then you got the cork below the screw-in shot glass. Pretty neat, huh? So I'm just gonna have a little nightcap. Now, to be very, very honest, it's not quite. It's not one of my favorites, but it's not because I think it's a bad whiskey. It's just not quite my favorite flavor profile, if you will. I like them strong, you know, a little toasty, a little caramelly, but smooth, you know, and not too heavily oaked, not with a lot of spice. And I know a lot of people would say, hey, you know, what about 4-year, 8-year, 12-year? I really don't care about all that, to be honest. I care more about the general flavor. I don't like a lot of spice, and I like them strong. This one has a little more oak than I prefer, and darn it if I didn't look at the proof before I bought it, but it's only 84 proof, so that does not make me happy. But, you know, I didn't look. I forgot to look, so, you know, having said that, it's not bad. It's not a bad whiskey. It's just not my favorite flavor profile. But, cheers. So, I've got, let me see, yeah, I'm doing okay on time. I have photographic history of the Civil War, soldier life and Secret Service, prisons and hospitals. I can't wait till I get to that last part. As some of you know, I'm kind of a social historian. I like the stuff about the battles, but what I really like is civilian stories, stories about the prison system, which I've addressed a bit, as well as the hospitals, which I definitely addressed at the National Civil War Medicine Museum in Frederick. Please go back and check that out. I'm definitely going to link that for you. And I'm not completely happy with those videos because, well, I got a little bit emotional and probably a little soapboxy. So sue me. I think they're sometimes harrowing, but great stories and involve a lot of heroism on part of the surgeons, doctors, nurses, and townsfolk who, you know, in Maryland and Frederick, being the first hospital system in the U.S., and here in Gettysburg and elsewhere, you know, really deserve a lot of credit. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm wearing this. Wearing the same shirt as the last video that I took here. Anyways, I just literally opened the book and kind of let the pages dictate what I was going to read. And lo and behold, it's, well, let me go ahead and read it. So we have a story, and I'm just going to read it verbatim because I just cracked it open. I'm familiar with some of this story, but not all of it, and I'll explain. The 1st Minnesota Infantry was the first regiment tendered to the government April 14th, 1861. It was mustered into service April 29th, 1861. 14 days after the President's proclamation. The regiment embarked June 22nd, 1861, for Prairie du Chien, whence it proceeded by rail to Washington. Its first uniforms furnished by the state were black felt hats, black trousers, and red flannel shirts. Cool! It served throughout the war. Population of Minnesota in 1860 was 172,023, including 2,369 Indians, or Native Americans, if you will. It furnished 24,020 soldiers, of whom 2,584 were lost. While the whole people of Minnesota were striving night and day to fill up new regiments to reinforce the national armies, they had to maintain garrisons along the Indian frontiers at the same time. One garrison was at Fort Ripley below Crow Wing, another at Fort Ridgely in Nicollet County. Fort Abercrombie and a post on the Red River 15 miles north of Breckenridge were strongly fortified. In the Sioux War of 1861, from 1,000 to 1,500 persons were killed and property to the value of over $500,000 was destroyed. Most of the regiments raised for the war saw some service at home fighting the Indians or Native Americans, Native American uprisings before they dared to gather at Fort Snelling to leave the state for the struggle with the South. Minnesota sent 2 regiments and 2 battalions of cavalry, 1 regiment of heavy artillery, 3 batteries of light artillery, 2 companies of sharpshooters, and 11 infantry regiments to the front during the war. And I'll tell you why I picked this. Let's see if you can get a screenshot. 1st Minnesota Infantry at Camp Stone near Poolesville, Maryland, January 1862. And I think that's pretty cool because as maybe 1 or 2 of you may remember from some comments in other videos, I'd say the second stage of my my growing up was in Montgomery County, Maryland. And I mentioned Rockville because I was talking about Jeb Stuart's wild ride and when he commandeered the wagon train. So if you, Washington, let's start from Washington, D.C. Almost directly to the north of Washington, D.C. is Montgomery County, and that's where I did some of my growing up in Silver Spring, Maryland. Now, if you go north and a bit to the west from Rockville, you will be in Poolesville. And it also kind of, Poolesville also kind of sits above Potomac, if you will. Land of the Richies. Jesus, that place is rich. Anyways, it's funny because back in my high school days, we had, the kids from Silver Spring and Rockville and places like that used to make fun of Poolesville kids, and we used to think they were hicks, which they kind of are. Poolesville is just far enough. I think I would definitely consider it country, small town. It's similar to Damascus, which actually is well off to the north and ever so slightly to the east of Rockville and Gaithersburg, Maryland. But I had a couple friends from Poolesville, and I just think it's really cool because I didn't know that there was a Civil War camp there. But apparently there was, and that's where the 1st Minnesota was trained in 1862, and I thought that was a really cool story. Anyhow, guys, we'll see what's going on tomorrow. I don't plan to shoot a lot. Well, I'm sure I may shoot 1 or 2 videos on the battlefield. We'll see. You know, I don't know. It's just I really meant to come here and relax, and it sounds silly, but shooting kind of gets in the way of that. You know, I kind of have to plan a little bit. Every now and then I'll, you know, you guys, I do stuff pretty much straightforwardly and old school vlogger style and straight through with no edits. Every now and then I have to do another take because I goofed something up or really messed up some kind of detail. And it's just, I don't want to say it's stressful, but again, it just, if I do more than a couple, it really just kind of gets in the way of me just completely sitting back and relaxing. So forgive me if I don't do much tomorrow. I've already done a couple on this trip. I did one at the South County Brewing Company, which I love. I did one coming into the battlefield when I arrived at town around 5 o'clock, just before sunset, and maybe 1 or 2 others. You guys will see what's in store for you. Up ahead, I still have some stuff from Ellicott City. I went back to the B&O Museum and talked more about the Second Industrial Revolution and how I think it's so important to the story of the Civil War. Let me see. There's quite a bit still. Shot a couple walking around one of my favorite small towns, Sykesville, Maryland, because the winter light is fading and it's a beautiful little town. And I still have quite a bit more from Gettysburg that I haven't posted, guys, including a bunch of museum stuff. So hopefully you enjoy everything. The video is coming up, and then we'll see what's going on this spring. Till then.